Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Shireen. I am a self-taught DIYer and I am so determined to teach you everything that I know. In today's video, we're going to talk about everything that has to do with painting or staining exterior wood. We're going to cover how to prep the wood, how to paint it or stain it, what kind of stain or paint you can use, and what's the best technique to get the best finish and make sure that your paint or stain is going to adhere to the wood for the long run. The first thing you want to do is lay out your wood flat. You want to be able to access all four sides of your wood if that's possible. So what I did is I laid out scrap pieces of wood underneath the wood that I'm trying to prep. That way I can twist it and work on all the sides as I go. Next, you're going to need a wood cleaner, and I'm using the one from Defy. I happen to have a discount code because I'm doing a partnership with them on Instagram, so I will include that in the description box below in case you want to use it. But regardless of the wood cleaner that you're using, you want to follow the instructions on the back. This wood cleaner comes in a powder form and you have to add water to it to be able to use it, and the ratio from one wood cleaner to another may be different, so just follow the instructions on the back. Before you apply the cleaner, you want to get the wood all wet first. You want to apply a decent amount of the wood cleaner to the wood, and you need to scrub it. Like, you need to clean that wood, especially if you are using pressure treated wood. I know if you used pressure treated wood before, you know that the minute you touch it, there's a bunch of red powder on it, and there's a lot of other debris and dirt that you need to remove before you add your stain or paint. And so the cleaning process is really crucial here. Now, I didn't want to scrub it by hand, so I took out my electric scrubber that I use around my house just to clean my house, and it worked out perfectly. So my suggestion to you is, if the surface you're trying to prep for staining or for painting is a large surface, you can invest in one of these scrubbers. I will link mine in the description box below, or I believe you can get an attachment for a drill and you can use your drill to scrub as well. According to the instructions on my wood cleaner, once I'm done scrubbing, I should leave the cleaner on the wood for about 20 minutes, which was great for me to take a break from it, and then come back and rinse it really well. Once I was done with this process on one side of the wood, I had to flip the wood over to the next side of it and repeat the same process. Once the cleaning process is done on all the sides of the wood that you're trying to stain or paint, you want to go to step number 2, and that is the wood brightener. The wood brightener is another solution that also needs to be diluted in water. I suggest you stick to the same brand in terms of the product that you're gonna use. So if your stain or paint is from one particular brand, look and see if that brand has a cleaner and a brightener, and use the same thing because they are likely made to work with each other. I did the same thing with the brightener. I followed the exact same instructions on the back. It was basically diluting the brightener in water. The brightener was a lot easier than the cleaner because I didn't have to scrub the wood again. All I had to do is apply, wait a little bit, and rinse. So that went by fairly quickly. And this was the moment I realized how important all this work was. The wood looked completely different when I finished than when I started, and I was so glad I did because I absolutely loved the color that I picked for this wood. And I would have been so sad if I applied the stain and it didn't give me the results I was expecting simply because the wood was not prepped. Next is to apply the stain. And I know it looks like paint, but it is a stain. It's called a solid color stain. So when you're making the decision of which color or which stain to use, think about the finish that you want. Do you want it to look more like paint, or do you want it to be like a stain where you can see the wood grain and the wood texture? I personally wanted it to be more like paint, and that's why I went with solid color stains, but of course you do what's best for you. To apply the stains, I just had to wait for the wood to dry to the touch. I was kind of worried actually because I thought I had to wait for the wood to reach a certain moisture level, but according to the instructions on everything, it said that it only had to be dry to the touch. When I paint, I love using a roller. I do not like painting with brush, and that's why I started out using a roller. But I realized quickly that using a brush is the best thing for this situation because I was staining exterior wood and it has rough edges. There were a lot of gaps in between the wood that the roller wasn't getting. So I quickly switched over to a brush, and that was a much better choice for this wood. I finished coat 1 on all the sides using a brush, and that was quite a process. And for the second coat, I actually went back and used the roller because it was much faster and I didn't have any gaps that I had to fill. I do have a tip for you though, if you are going to be painting or staining exterior wood. Because I'm assuming it's going to be happening outside, I'm telling you to keep an eye on the rain forecast. I swear to God, rain has been coming out of nowhere this year, and the last thing you want to do is have rain ruin the project project for you. You want to make sure that there's no rain coming for the next 12 hours after you stain or paint your wood, or otherwise your work is gonna go to waste and you have to do it all over again. So just keep an eye. And that's it, you guys. The process of prepping your wood for exterior stain or paint is so easy. It is a process, it takes time, I'm not gonna lie, but the finished result is so worth it, and it's gonna last you for years and years to come. You should totally do it if you have a project coming up this summer. I am using this wood to build a pergola, and I'm very excited for the process. If you guys want to join me on Instagram, I share my daily progress on stories, and I'm just having so much fun with this build, and very soon I'm gonna have a video available for you here on YouTube. I hope you loved it. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments below and I'll happily get back to you. Bye!